Hey, welcome to this episode of Life in 15. It's your weekly, somewhat private counseling coaching session. For the next 3 weeks, we'll be looking at the topic of grief management. I've had to deal with this pretty regularly the last 4 years. So, what do you do when grief knocks you to your knees and, quite frankly, it just hurts? God has some things to say about this, and not surprisingly, they contradict conventional wisdom at every point. Conventional wisdom tells us to bury our feelings, to mask them, to toughen it up. But the Bible's example is clear. Express your pain. You know the shortest verse in the Bible? I do. I learned it in Vacation Bible School as a child. It's my favorite memory verse because of the length. In John 11:35 says, Jesus wept. You know what caused Jesus to weep? A very close friend of his died. When Jesus got word of Lazarus' death, he traveled to their hometown and met with his two sisters. As Jesus and Lazarus' two sisters met, stood beside the tomb, he cried his eyes out. Jesus wept. Those two words, Jesus wept, speak volumes about good grief management. Tears have been called the language of the soul, a cleansing river of emotional release. And God's approach to this says, let the river flow. In the past, I've expressed my pain through songwriting or manuscript writing for books. Hate to admit it, but there have been times when I would crawl up in a cave of self-pity and just grovel around, which is really not the best thing. Let me ask you a question. Have you experienced major grief loss in your life? Maybe it's recently. And instead of expressing it, you've gone around trying to ignore or avoid the pain of it. Let me suggest 3 positive, healthy ways to express grief instead of burying it. 3 ways to express grief. First way is through creative expression. Channel your emotions, maybe into art or writing or music or other creative activities. This might mean that you keep a grief journal. Maybe you paint your feelings. There's an entire therapy called art therapy based on this principle. Maybe you, like I do, I compose music or crafting something that honors the loss that you've experienced. A lot of people find that creativity provides a language for those difficult to express emotions, and some are difficult to express. First thing, creative expression. Second way to express these grief feelings is through rituals. You create a meaningful ritual that acknowledges your loss. These could include maybe lighting a candle on significant dates, visiting a special place that you held with the person that's departed, maybe planting a memorial garden or a tree. Establishing a scholarship is another way to do this. Make a donation in your loved one's name. Rituals provide structure and meaning during tough times. So there's creative expression. There are rituals that you start. The third way of handling or expressing our grief is through connecting with others. You share your grief journey with a handful of trusted people, whether one-on-one conversations, maybe grief support groups, or even grief counseling. speaking the truth about your feelings and being a witness to other people and in your pain can validate your experience and help you feel a lot less alone. Connection reminds us that while grief is unique, no one really experiences it exactly the same way. We're not isolated in this experience of grief. Hey, look, if this has been helpful, be sure to follow me on this channel and YouTube, and also share this information. Thanks again for giving me a little bit of your time. Until next week, may God's blessings be on you.